Hello again, everyone, and welcome. It is Season 3 of the Adam Jones Podcast, presented by the Baltimore Banner. I'm Jerry Coleman, live at Jimmy's Famous Seafood, or on tape, depending on your perspective. He's Adam Jones, somewhere on an island undisclosed. How are you, AJ?
Good, always good, always good.
All right, get ready for episode number 77, as we will be joined by Orioles shortstop Gunnar Henderson, who doesn't believe in sophomore slumps and is on his way to his first ever All-Star game. We'll also discuss Sunday Night Baseball finally coming back to Baltimore, whether the Birds need to go out and find another arm in light of the recent injuries. We'll discuss that. In addition, Adam will provide us a detailed recap of his trip to Rickwood in Birmingham, Alabama, a place that Gunner's very familiar with, and it looked fabulous on TV. And what a production by Fox. And also, Lido Pizza, as always, brings us Socially Speaking. We want to welcome Lido Pizza aboard officially. We'll respond to one of your social media posts. But first, let's bring in our featured guest. Of course, he's brought to us by our friends right here at Jimmy's Famous Seafood, where I have his burger, and I'm going to take a bite at some point. Ooh, this looks good. He is Gunnar Henderson. He will be here August 12th for a big event. Get your tickets because they're going quick. Gunnar, welcome. And first, I have to mention the last time we had you on was 72 episodes ago, and I believe you were chilling, I think, on your parents' couch back in Selma, Alabama. You've come a long way.
Yeah, y'all been cooking with the episodes. That's a lot of them.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sure you've been and had your burger here before. I am going to try it at some point during this podcast, probably when Adam takes a question. But I will disclose that it's going to take me a while to polish this thing off, where AJ could do it in probably within 5 minutes.
You got to make sure you get the cheese sauce on there too.
I'll make sure I do that. Let me ask you first, though. How did you ensure there was going to be no sophomore slump? It's a phrase we hear a lot in professional sports. I'm sure you heard it all during the offseason as you were collecting your hardware. Was it something you were worried or focused on at all?
No, I mean, human nature is going to tell you, like, yeah, whenever you're sitting there not in the game. But I felt like the experiences that I went through at the first, I guess, quarter of the season last year, I felt like that was my kind of slump in the sense. I mean, obviously you're going to go through ups and downs of the season. That's just baseball. But I felt like those experiences really helped me to figure out what I needed to do to get through the slump, and then just kind of how to combat them when they come.
I want to talk to you about Birmingham. You know, I was just there for honoring Mr. Willie Mays, and then obviously his passing last Tuesday, and us celebrating him in Rickwood. You're from the region, not necessarily from Birmingham, but from the area. Can you speak on what just baseball in general has meant in the southern region? I'm a West Coast guy. They see things completely different. Your father's heroes and your grandparents' heroes they're different in how they see it and how they work. Can you speak on a little bit of just that southern love and southern draw for baseball?
Yeah, I mean, football is obviously the number one sport where we are, our location, and there's no professional teams, so college football is like the NFL there. But yeah, baseball just in our family has been, I mean, it's been number one always in our lives. I mean, we've every grandkid, and then I guess my cousin, she played softball, and then every grandkid of my grandparents have played baseball, and then my grandparents played baseball. So it's just been an unreal sport for our family. I mean, we can't thank the game enough for being a part of our life for so long, and just all the opportunities it's blessed us with.
It seems like you're playing baseball these days with a chip on your shoulder. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about the intensity that you're showing, especially when you're involved in an emotional series, sort of like with the Yankees we saw recently.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I've always grown up, just being really competitive in everything that I do. And now that baseball is, baseball's been the only sport in my life, it takes all my competitive fire. And yeah, I just go out there and try to play 110% every game.
I'm going to speak on how you play the game. And, you know, I came up with Markakis being and B-Rob being the guys who were before me. I got traded over to Baltimore. You're a draft pick, but I still had the chip on the shoulder. It's like, hey, I'm the younger guy in this. I want to be mentioned. You have overshadowed. I believe this is your team, if you believe it or not. But how have you, Adley, Colton, just a plethora of guys, but how do you guys just said, look, keep it even killed is like, look, let's go punch these guys in the mouth rather than let's be the rock stars that you truly are, but let's go punch the guys in the mouth.
Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of it's a testament to the guys that the Orioles have brought in. They're not nobody that I've met that's been drafted in recent years, or as far as I guess like Grayson or when DL's here his years. I mean, every person that they've brought in has been just great dudes outside of baseball. So I feel like that helps us all in the locker room to just kind of mesh together and to go out there and just try to win ball games and do it for your teammate or the pitcher that's on the mound. And I felt like that's been our MO since we started playing really good ball.
What just happened in New York recently? Do you believe that a rivalry is starting to really brew there? I mean, they came up and in on you. They hit you. Obviously, we hit Judge. It doesn't matter if it's intentional or intentional. We hit Jeter and Cano and A-Rod. It doesn't matter if it's intentional or intentional. You hit the big dogs, somebody's going to get drilled. My ribs still hurt these days to it. It's part of the game. Are you welcoming that challenge? Because it's going to happen. You're going to get hit on purpose because your pitcher on accident hit this guy. That's just part of the rivalry and part of the blood. And it's going to happen with the Red Sox and you see up north in Toronto also.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that to be held back of the emotion? Because you got to stay in the game. You're more valuable to the team in the game, but you might get hit in the first or the third.
Yeah, I mean, we're ready for it. It's just part of the game, like you said. It's just what happens when you get really two competitive teams going against each other. Something's kind of high octane, and something's bound to happen. So, but just gotta wear it, and that's what I felt like I did. And lo and behold, it eventually ended up being the winning run. So, like you said, just try and stay in the game because you can only help your team if you're in the game. So.
100%. You got ice later, baby.
Gunnar, how does this year's version of the Orioles differ at all from last year's team? What have you noticed?
Well, I guess on the base level, we all have a year of experience up under, or some people is another year of experience under their belt. But yeah, getting that first playoff taste last year, I mean, obviously wasn't how we wanted it to go, but just to get that experience, especially at a young age for me, is huge. Just kind of knowing what to expect, having an idea of how the crowd and on the road and at home are going to react. It's been a really, really cool experience for me, and I'm using those experiences early in this year and then later in the playoff run this year.
Understanding that you're an everyday shortstop rather than maybe a lefty years, you're at third base, and this year you're switching positions and you're the shortstop. How has that just eased everything to knowing like I just got to take balls at shortstop?
Yeah, it definitely gives you a sigh of relief some days because other days or last year whenever I would switch to third and then play there for 5 or 6 games and then maybe I'm getting tired, but the next day, hey, you got to go play short. So then I have to go take ground balls that day there just to get some reps. This year, if my body's kind of dragging a little bit, then I have the ability to not go take ground balls that day. So that definitely helps on that end, just being able to kind of let my body rest and recover leading up into a game rather than having to go take ground balls 5 out of 6 days and play in 6 out of 6 days. So,
we were talking about last year's team compared to this year's, and you mentioned the playoffs and all that. Are you noticing more energetic crowds, not only at home, but on the road? And this team, whenever you follow them, you can't turn off the TV or radio. You guys are never out of it.
Yeah, it's been awesome because you can tell how many Orioles fans there when they say the O during the anthem. So it's cool seeing them on the road and kind of hearing how well they're traveling. It's definitely an awesome fan base to be playing for, and they love their O's.
We had some down years and then some up years. You got there when the uprising was starting. But now you're getting to see the uptick in fans. When the fans travel, obviously we're not in New York and Boston and Chicago. We get that. But when you get to see, like you said, you hear the O during the national anthem. When you're from the South, you've never heard the old during the national anthem. What the hell are you saying the old during the national anthem for? It only happens in one place in the whole country.
Yeah.
And when you're in Seattle, when you're in Chicago, Anaheim, and you just, still, and what does that, like, that different emotion to me, it brought out, like, it just made me like, hey, somebody here to support me. I know y'all from. How did that make you feel?
Yeah. So whenever I first heard it, it was in 2019 when I came to Camden Yards to sign. And it was, I mean, obviously they weren't winning too much that year, but the crowd that was there when the national anthem was going, it made me jump whenever I first heard it. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So then ever since then, I was always like, I just want to hear this. I want to work my butt off to hear this in a playoff atmosphere. And when I got to hear it last year, it was giving me chills. So it's definitely something that's special to me, and to be able to kind of grade the crowd on the road based on the O, it's pretty cool, and kind of a little small thing that I like to hear definitely on the road.
Well, I mentioned at the top you are certainly eligible for your first All-Star game. You're going. We know you're going. How cool is it to know? Come on, he's leading the voting as we're speaking. It would be ridiculous. But you're building your brand around Major League Baseball, which really seemed to start after winning Rookie of the Year honors and doing the offseason banquet tour. What was the coolest moment of the offseason for you?
Honestly, just being able to go home and just kind of be able to reflect on the year, just being able to kind of process it. Because when you're in it, I mean, you're playing every day, so you get about 12 hours to kind of sit on what you did before you're playing in a new game. So it's just kind of that rest and then get ready for the next day. So being able to just kind of reflect in the off season was big for me. Just kind of pulling what I did well, what I didn't do so well, and I kind of use that for fuel to train for this off season and then get ready for the upcoming season.
You talked about it a little bit with how with playing shortstop, you're able to, like, look, I understand that I'm playing shortstop. I know I don't need to take ground balls every day. I get that. I'm playing this position. Now you're featured in different, like Jerry just said, you're featured in different articles, in different magazines, and different promotions, where I understand that takes time out of your day. It takes 4 hours to get 30 seconds worth of film. It makes no sense. How have you been able to balance that? Again, you're still young, but again, you like your rest, you like your routine. How have you been able to balance that?
Yeah, but definitely on the Orioles side of request. I mean, the PR staff has been they've been unreal for me. They've really kind of helped me in the way of, if there's a lot of requests coming in, they'll kind of say like, hey, you've had a lot of requests lately. I don't really recommend it. If you want us to say no, we will. So it's been really helpful on their end, just being able to kind of coach me through that, because they've obviously been through it with a lot of guys, just kind of on how they went about things, and kind of coaching me on what worked for them and what kind of helped them in a sense of getting their rest and not getting just stretched to 10 different ways. So I feel like that's been a big help for me, is just kind of monitoring how many requests have come in, but also just kind of just trusting myself and not trying to do 18 different things at one time.
Are you starting to get noticed a lot more than, when you first came into the major leagues? I mean, that's only a natural with your face plastered everywhere. How is it when you're around Baltimore? And what about when you're on the road? Does that surprise you sometimes where someone may notice you in a faraway city?
Yeah, it's definitely cool being able to do that. I mean, just to make somebody's day is kind of cool to me, because, I mean, one picture, one signature can make somebody's day, and especially a kid's day, because I remember being in that situation, just seeing guys like that just go in the big leagues, and then just getting a signature for them can really just kind of spark your interest in baseball, or just inspire you to do other things. So it's pretty cool being able to have that ability.
I would say if you shaved the mustache, maybe people wouldn't notice you. I mean, you could probably walk around a few blocks and people would be like double taking. Was that Gunnar?
Yeah, I'm sure if I did that, people would have to check.
I did want to ask you, following up on what Adam had to say about how full your plate has gotten. I see you're doing commercials, at least one. I think the kid had more lines in the commercial than you did. I'm not sure. But are there more coming? And, of course, you're going to be here at Jimmy's Famous Seafood next month for an event. So are you doing more of these?
Nothing so far, but yeah, hopefully down the road we'll get some more going.
I want to speak on the Midsummer Classic, and obviously you're going. I mean, it's barring nothing. You're going to the Midsummer Classic, and have you prepared your family for this? I know you have all the proper, the Southern accent with the Southern respect and the hospitality, but are you guys excited for the All-Star game? And possibly, will you continue this trend of Orioles in this derby and hopefully bring us a winner? It's been a bunch of us. Ain't none of us won, but can you bring us a winner if asked?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I would be interested to doing. I mean, it's just seeing the home run derby growing up is pretty sweet, pretty special atmosphere, I feel like. So yeah, definitely we'll put some thought into it when asked or if asked. So yeah, but to have the opportunity to be in the All-Star game would be is a real blessing, and I can't thank God enough for that. He's really blessed me in the position that I've been in, and being able to do that in the second 4 years would hopefully be pretty special.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put down this beer that's going with your burger, by the way. Nothing goes better than with the Gunnar burger than an Adam Jones Simply AJ beer. What a commercial. Speaking of commercials, I do have to ask you this because I haven't heard you talk about it. That spot you did with Cal and David Rubenstein and Brandon Hyde, how did that all come together for you?
For me, they just kind of came up and they were kind of saying they wanted to do something like the old Sports Center commercials. And they told me it was going to be Cal, Rubenstein, and Skip. So it was I was interested to see how it played out, but when we got out there, Cal was a good sport about it. He was enjoying it, having fun out there. So it made for a real enjoyable time.
More coming up on the Adam Jones Podcast, but first, a word from our sponsors. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Weinman Company. Everyone knows Greenmount Station in Hampstead, but did you know that at Greenmount Station you can bet 7 days a week just like you're at the track? With in-person teller windows and state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks. And with Greenmount Station's brand new Bet Park Sportsbook, you can bet on all other sports as well, wherever you are in Maryland. Spreads, money lines, live bets, props, parlays, and teasers. The Bet Parks Maryland mobile app is now live for Apple and Android devices, so you'll never miss your next big score. Just search for BetParks MD in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. And for a limited time, 21 and over Adam Jones Podcast listeners can get a $75 gift card to Greenmount Station simply for opening a new account with promo code GMS and a minimum $50 initial deposit. $75 gift card for new users in Maryland only. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan? Experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast.
It might be an 11, maybe a 9. It could be 13's time. Or 5. With new Cash Pop from the Maryland Lottery, a winning number is drawn 4 times a day. Just pick a number from 1 to 15 for a chance to win cash, like the $2,500 top prize.
Woo! Cash Pop.
Cash Pop.
Pop, pop.
Put a little pop in your day.
Hey, it's savings season at Lido Pizza. 99-cent refreshing iced teas all summer, or $6 calzones every Tuesday. There are tons of new deals and rewards for everyone. Proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles, Baltimore Ravens, and the Adam Jones Podcast. Lido Pizza, a local legend since 1955. Exclusively at LidoPizza.com or on the Lido Pizza app. If you received ERC funds, listen closely. The IRS has 10 years to audit your claim, but you only have until March 22nd to get taxpayer relief, and the clock is ticking. If you're losing sleep over a possible audit, we'll review your claim. If you made a filing error, we'll set things right. If you're being audited, we'll provide expert representation. The IRS Voluntary Disclosure Program ends March 22nd. You deserve peace of mind. Visit SaveMyERC.com to schedule a consultation today. That's SaveMyERC.com. Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. At Jack Daniels, they charcoal mellow every drop, only using water from Cave Spring Hollow in Tennessee. When you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks. 2022. Jack Daniels. All rights reserved. The Adam Jones Podcast welcomes Relief Shop. Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu, located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week. Only at Relief Shop.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
Hey Baltimore, Monument City Brewing has been crafting the best beer in Maryland since 2014. Located at 1 North Haven Street in Baltimore, you've seen us at the ballpark. Now drop by our tasting room. Open Thursday through Sunday with events, music, and great food trucks. And this year we are honored to collaborate with Adam Jones and the Adam Jones Podcast with Simply AJ Ballpark IPA, available throughout the baseball season. It's going to be a great year, Baltimore. Visit us online at monumentcitybrewing.com or follow us on Instagram at Monument City Brewing.
Hey, you work hard, I work hard, and we all like to save money. That's why we need the Royal Farms ROFO Rewards app to get more value for our hard-earned money. With the app, you earn royalty points on every purchase, can place mobile orders for quick pickup, plus a discount at the gas pump with ROFO Pay. We all like to save money, and with the ROFO Rewards app, we do.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Keeping Baltimore safe is an incredibly important job, and protecting those who keep us safe is equally important. The Baltimore Police Department leads the nation in supporting its officers with innovative wellness programs, free fitness classes, counseling services, citywide discounts, and more. Right now, the BPD is hiring. Join now and receive a $10,000 signing bonus upon swearing in. Build a meaningful career in public safety with the BPD and get the support you need to serve Baltimore effectively. Apply now at bpdrecruit.org. It's the perfect time to check out a spacious and reliable new Toyota SUV. Like a RAV4, with available all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo space, you'll go from errands to adventures in no time. Plus, available features like wireless charging will keep you connected. Or check out a Highlander with seating for up to 8. It's a hub for family adventure. Your Toyota dealer is getting new vehicles in stock regularly. So don't wait. Find deals on a RAV4 or Highlander at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Come celebrate the 4th a night early on Wednesday, July the 3rd with the Bay Sox. We will have our biggest fireworks show of the season, and you don't want to miss it. Monday, July 1st, kids cheer free. Get a free children's ticket with the purchase of a full-price box seat ticket. Purchase at baysox.com. And now back to the Adam Jones Podcast.
How much better is it having Cal Ripken involved? I got there. I thought he would be more involved with the day-to-day operations, whatever was going on, just based on him, my thoughts of Tony Gwynn. I thought that Cal Ripken would be the same way in Baltimore. How much better is it having him involved rather than him just be a spectator?
Yeah, it's awesome. For me especially, because I've been able to kind of talk to him, pick his brain, and I don't know how often you get to do that with a Hall of Fame shortstop, and especially being from Maryland, he knows the ins and outs of everything, the O's. So it's been really awesome being able to just chat with him, pick his brain, and he's been really helpful to me in my career so far.
Gunnar, I know you're buddies with Bobby Witt, and I want to know what other players outside the Orioles do you happen to be friends with? I noticed that he got paid before you did. I don't know if you guys talk about that any in private moments, maybe like, hey, maybe Mr. Rubenstein will do the same thing here in Baltimore.
No, me and Bobby, I guess y'all saw the jersey exchange. We did all the high school showcase circuits together. So being able to see some friendly faces on the road and stuff has been pretty cool. Just kind of seeing how far the high school showcase stuff will go, and being able to see guys that you've done that with is pretty cool. Just kind of watching it, and then especially like during the draft, seeing all the guys that you know and be like, hey, I know that guy. I played with him not too long ago, so it's pretty cool seeing that and just seeing how their careers develop and seeing them in the big leagues.
There's a big question about where you should hit. And I think a lot of people say you should hit third. I mean, I think you should hit wherever suits the lineup and suits the team.
Yeah.
With your athleticism, it's just fortunate, not unfortunate. It's fortunate that you launch balls left and right. Do you enjoy hitting leadoff? I mean, I moved to leadoff because Machado didn't like it. Him and Buck would go back and forth. He didn't like hitting leadoff. I'm like, I got a contract already. It doesn't matter. My performance is not going to deviate from my pay. I'll hit leadoff. I don't give a damn. And I got to hit more. To you, do you like hitting leadoff, or sometimes would you want to? I think in situations, hypothetically, be like, damn, if I was hitting third, I would have two guys on, or you know what I mean? Because you would have a different set of guys in front of you. But do you like hitting leadoff because you do always get 5 at-bats?
Yeah. Yes. It's actually grown on me a lot because I never really hit leadoff until like the last 2 weeks I was in AAA. And then obviously when I got to the big leagues, not as much, and then started getting sprinkled in there a decent amount last year. So being full-time leadoff hitter, it's been kind of a little bit of adjustment, but it's been a good adjustment. I've enjoyed it so far. And I just like getting in there, and I've developed a good routine, especially on the road, to get ready for that first at bat, because you got to be ready when the opposing pitcher is ready. So that was a little bit of adjustment early on, but now I got a good routine for it.
You know, it was not that long ago that you were a rookie. Do you find it now that players are coming to you for advice where once you were going to others?
I felt like, the experiences that I went through last year's, it was very similar to kind of what some of the guys were going through this year when they came up. But being able to just kind of, because it's still fresh on my plate, so having that fresh experience, I feel like I've been able to kind of help in the sense of, hey, I was in the same exact position you're in at this point last year, so being able to kind of help them in the sense of what helped me, that's been big. I really enjoyed being able to kind of just get my experiences out there, and if it can help them get through it quicker than I did, then that's perfect.
People always speak on leadership, and they always say, well, the guy with the most time is the guy that has the most knowledge. To me, I don't believe that. I think the guys with the most accomplishments have the most knowledge because they've seen things that most people haven't. You and Adley obviously are spearheading this rebuild, and it's not a rebuild anymore. You're spearheading this playoff run and potential World Series run. How has that changed to where it's not necessarily it's you and Adley, and again, other guys with Cedric and other guys, but it's you guys' team, and it's the young guys that are running the show and getting the accolades and attention?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just the way our mindset is we want to go out there and win games each and every day. I know my number one goal, and I feel like it's our team's number one goal, and then whatever kind of accolades or stats that come with it. And I feel like that's been the way each and every player's just gone about it. Nobody's really just trying to stat pad out there and do stuff like that. We just really just all want to win games, and we want to win a World Series. I feel like that's what you want in a team, and especially a team-based mentality, because you feel like you can run into some guys who just really want the selfish accolades, but whatever comes with it is with winning, that's what ultimately will happen. So that's what we've tried to do.
The infatuation with Lego, this is the last one I have, because I just saw that you guys were in New York. You went to the Lego store. You and Colton exchanged gifts. It was a beautiful moment. Have you been to the original Lego store, which I looked up is in Denmark? Is that a bucket list item for you?
I actually didn't know that, but no, I mean, obviously I'd probably be cool just because they'll have something, I guess, original to them. But that would definitely have to be an off-season trip if I ever did that.
You speak in such a calm tone, but where did the fire between the lines come?
I feel like that's been my self drive. I mean, being from a small southern town, there's not much going on, and I feel like it's just kind of your self motivation that will get you to where you want to go, and that's what's carried me through my whole baseball careers. My internal drive to be the best player that I think that I can be, and ultimately, I want to be one of the best to ever play, and I feel like that's the standard that I try to hold myself to, and to go out there and to play as hard as I can each and every night to help my team win games. And that's my MO, and that's what I try to do each and every night out.
Well, that's a lofty goal.
But I mean, it's a hell of a goal. But here's my last one for you. 40 years ago, Mr. Ripken Jr. made his debut. 40 years ago, you made your debut. I mean, in terms of his time. You're a spitting image in terms of a lot of what represents Baltimore baseball in terms of playing hard. Big shortstop, being the leader of the franchise. Are you comfortable with carrying this weight if it is bestowed upon you?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, also having Cal there to kind of tell me what he went through at the times that he was in his early stages is, I feel like, just a tremendous help on my end. Just being able to pick his brain, see what he went through, and then you see the success that he had. I mean, being able to have that kind of guy in your corner, just a Hall of Fame caliber guy, has been unreal, and I can't ever thank him enough for everything that he's done. So.
Thanks.
Gunnar, want to thank you. Want to thank Jimmy's for providing the burger. Let me just take a quick bite, Adam.
There we go.
That's his. Hey, just know this. He's going to take 2 more of those bites, and then he's going to save the rest on the other side of his fingertips.
You know me too well.
And then he's going to take it home, and he's going
heat
to
it up.
share it with his cat. That's going to.
I don't have a cat. I'm going to take this home too. Gunnar, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate your time, my guy.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Time now for our For the Birds segment, sponsored by our friends over at the Maryland Lottery. Hey, when you play the Maryland Lottery, set limits, never play when you're stressed, and know your odds of winning. To learn more, visit mdlottery.com/play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to play. Adam, the Orioles, they're dealing with injuries. We've talked about it for a couple of weeks now. The big question I want to ask you is, do they pull the trigger on a trade to acquire another arm with Wells, Means, and Bradish done?
I said that, it's a big blow, obviously, with 3 guys gone, and presumably for next year also. I think when you see TJ now, teams are not just saying the 12-month diagnosis or prognosis. It's really the 16 to 18-month now, just because let's get it right. Let's make sure that you're good when it comes back. And even when you come back, it's still not going to be right because it's a surgery. It's an injury that they're doing again to your body. But again, it's like, do you want to win this year? You have the prospects to, you have the team to. At the end of the day, it's going to boil down to pitching. It always does in the playoff time. We see it every single year, no matter who you are, no matter the offense you've had. The Dodgers have had the top 5 offense, if not 3, the last decade, and they have won championships. So it doesn't necessarily correlate that says if you are, the best offense in baseball or top off, it doesn't mean that you're going to win it, because in playoffs, all that stuff slows down. Everything just stops. We're going to make sure that we do hit and runs and base to base. So is it the right time? I say yes. Do you have the prospects and we call it cash and capital? Yes. But who? And it always boils down to that. We can speculate and say this guy, we have too many of this guys. That's always the biggest question of who. And I don't know who. I mean, I have my opinions on who I think. A lot of people have other opinions. But then you go to the organizations and you say, here, I'm going to propose you a deal like this. But they say, no, I want this guy, this guy, this guy. Then it changes the whole dynamic of the deal, because most people online, like myself, also speculate. Even when I was a player, I speculated. I was like, damn, talking to these guys like, man, I would love if we can get this guy.
Well, you were Nostradamus. You were Nostradamus when it came to Corbin Burns. You were a year out on that.
I was a year out on it, and I think that the timing worked perfectly to get Corbin. But you want to speak in hypotheticals. What if we were able to get Corbin at the summertime? But we couldn't get Corbin at the summertime because the Brewers were still good last year, and they were a playoff team. They were not projected to be that good this year. Then they're right now in the Central by a lot. That's why like when you speculate, you don't have no idea what you're doing, and you can say and you can predict all these different trades and all that kind of stuff. No one predicted the Brewers to be 8 games up. We predicted the Brewers to be a solid team. You got your young star you signed. You got the Cubs, who I think were presumably to be the winner of that division. Again, still a lot of time to go. Or the Cardinals, but that's baseball, man. That's why you play it. But if the Orioles were to get some guys, I don't know who. That's the thing is who. And if you say you want, again, the Mason Miller name has always been thrown out. The guy has 5 years of control. Who's giving up somebody with 5 years of control? You have to look at guys that are in ARB right now. They're in ARB years that are making money. That their money next year is going to be significant. You have to look at those guys because that's the guys that are offered to be in trade. So go and look in the market of guys that are making $3 to $5 million. You want a relief pitcher. Those are the guys that are probably on the market. And, do you need arms? Again, I was always a guy that said, I like my guys. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just need some other guys. That's just part of the business. It's not, and if once people, I told these fans, strip your emotion, you'll respect the business better. A lot of people have emotions and everything. No emotion is no. Nah. Once I became a professional athlete, and I understand, or actually, I was 16. I became around Tony Gwynn, and I understood that. He told me that strip the emotion as a fan, you'll understand this game way more. And ever since then, I have. And it doesn't say that I don't have a bias. I want the Orioles to smack somebody in the mouth every day. I want the Padres to do the same thing. Padres Orioles World Series. That would be the happiest moment of my life. I'm not going to lose. But I understand the sport, and I understand when other teams come in your house and smack you in the mouth, and it's just part of the damn game.
And to the Orioles' credit, they don't listen to a lot of the outside noise. I'm talking about the front office. They do their own due diligence and move accordingly. I also wanted to address something we didn't talk to Gunnar about because I didn't want to make a big deal about it, but Orioles getting another Sunday night baseball game this weekend as the world champion Rangers come to town. But by my count, that's 2 times in 6 years. You surprised by the lack of national TV games?
No. Why are you? No. Why are you surprised by lack of national TV
Because of their
games?
success.
No. The success. Well, the success is warranted now. Again, if they're a playoff team this year, again, next year will be built into the schedule. Fox, ESPN, they just don't go on your success and flex. They're not the NFL. We don't flex in Major League Baseball, okay? The schedule is a schedule. Now you need to earn the chance to get on Sunday Night Baseball. The Rangers, I don't know how many times the Rangers have been on Sunday Night Baseball. You can check that. But I'm sure it hasn't been that many because they have not been that good of a franchise besides last year over a long course. So they're not an attraction. I think with winning the World Series, it slotted them to get a Sunday Night Baseball primetime game. And again, it's great notoriety for the Orioles. It is the only game going on, so it's a great time for people to really get to see the guys that they've heard the names of. Like they heard the names of Gunnar, you get more attention. They heard the names of Adley, but they haven't seen Mateo. They haven't seen Westberg. They haven't seen other guys. I hope Grayson throws that night because we've all seen Burns, but let's see Grayson on the national stage. You know what I mean? So Sunday Night Baseball, again, it's a showcase because no other game is on. But at the same time, you have to earn that game. You have to earn that into your schedule. And that means being good and getting to the playoffs the year before and the prior years. And if the Orioles continue doing what they're doing, their ass is going to be on Sunday Night Baseball more often, like they were. That's how I became familiar with the Orioles, was Sunday Night Baseball and Wednesday Night Baseball back in the day. Just because they were good. Yep. That's how I became understood the Orioles. Now you go look back in 96, 97, 98, they were on Sunday Night Baseball and Wednesday Night Baseball all the time. And that's how I became familiar with it.
Well said. All right, let's travel beyond Baltimore, where you are now, our national and sometimes international perspective, whether it be on an island or a big piece of land, brought to you by Relief Medical Marijuana Dispensary, where they go above and beyond to help you, the patient. We talked about the historic game in Rickwood last week. What a fabulous broadcast and production put on, not only by Fox, but Major League Baseball. Now that you've had the experience and what it looked like on TV, and like I said, awesome, was it that way in person? Because it seemed that way. It translated across the TV.
I mean, there were more emotions than I think people would admit, because it started as a honoring of Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, we get the hearing of his passing, and it turned into the celebration of Willie Mays. It wasn't like, I don't think people were sad and somber, because we've all, especially in the few black baseball and it's just Major League Baseball, everyone has had their opportunity to be around Mr. Mays in any capacity, especially if you're an all-star and if you went to San Francisco. You just had your chance to be around Willie Mays. And we all just told stories about him. That's what we did. We all sat around and we told stories about how, my encounter with Willie, everyone's encounter with Willie. And it turned into more of a celebration rather than just a somber moment. And again, we all were somber at the moment, but we celebrated 93 years on Earth. And I love how they took a time between the minor league game to acknowledge it. We had a softball game the next day, celebrating the Say Hey team, Willie Mays, and the Hammers with the Hammer and Hank Aaron team. We celebrated Black excellence. And then we had a game, actually a really, really good game between the Cardinals and the Giants, with the Cardinals winning 6-5. It was actually a really good game. But you can just sense in the ballpark, you just feel that people were emotionally touched by just where we're at and how far we've come. I think everybody has seen Reggie Jackson's interview.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a moment. Yeah.
That was truthful.
Yep.
Like you cannot get more detailed than that. And I'll let you ask that question so I can talk.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But I want to go back to Willie Mays, because his spirit was certainly felt, and a great opening again by Fox. I don't want to give too much kudos to him, but they did a tremendous job with the broadcast. And we have talked about, I think I hear the police coming in the background. We have talked about the greatest catches that you have seen in MLB. And for me, it's the greatest under pressure catch of all time, Willie Mays, 1954, at the Polo Grounds off the Vic Wertz fly ball.
When you say under pressure, of course, obviously you've seen many guys make the catch over the head, but again, he was the first to do this. And again, it's live. Now,
how many times have you practiced that basket catch in your backyard?
Not in my backyard, but I practiced it while taking BP in center field many, many times. I never grew up as an outfielder. I grew up as a shortstop. So once I became an outfielder, I practiced that all the time. And I practiced with an infield glove because Willie used a shorter glove than the normal outfielder. So I was able to basket in and catch that. But again, like, things weren't happening like that back then. So he's the first to do it. It's like the first to do a 360. You know what I mean? The first to do a 360 dunk, the first to throw 4 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. It's like he was the pioneer for defensive excellence. Are there people before him? I believe so, but he's the most well-documented center fielder on just pure excellence on center field defense, style, swag. You just look at Andrew Jones. Obviously, Griffey is, we're going to talk about Griffey as being, par and par as the greatest center fielders of all time, with Mickey Mantle also. I think Griffey's a tick above that. But then you include Andrew Jones and just the swag, and that shows the reach that Willie Mays had to the islands. But that shows the Negro Leagues really their reach to the islands, and that's the biggest part. The Negro Leagues wouldn't be exactly what they were without the Latins, and the Latin baseball wouldn't have joined with Major League Baseball at the same time. And I was talking to Pedro Sierra, a Cuban guy, and we all hear the stories of how MLB went over and taught Japanese baseball taught baseball to the Japanese. I was talking with Pedro Sierra, and he said that's bullshit. The Negro Leagues were the guys that went over there and taught them how to play baseball. The Latins and the Cubans went over there and taught them how to play baseball. So you see how that relationship is always, by me going over there and seeing that relationship with Black and Latin players, that relationship has always been good. So, just getting these stories, which I love baseball, and I love the history of baseball. I still wouldn't have learned these kind of things without the initiatives by MLB, by CC Sabathia, the whole MLB, the Rob Manfred, the umbrella. They're opening up our books. People want to close the books on certain histories. Baseball is opening them, and it's beautiful because there's so many guys that really do want to learn where they came from in the terms of the history of the sport. And, by us acknowledging so many guys, we're giving, you should have just seen the families there. Like, these guys have not been talked about in 50, 60 years. Majority of them are wheelchairs. Some of them tried to walk. These guys are on their last edge of life, but they were out there with big smiles, their families. I talked to Sam Allen's daughter. She's 48, 50, she's in her 50s. She's never seen her dad in a uniform until we were in the East-West game up in Cooperstown 3 weeks, a month ago. Like, what? She's 50 and she's never seen her dad in a uniform. Like, that's the stories we're really uncovering. And I think it's beautiful because history is beautiful.
Well, the whole event was a major hit, like I've explained, and I would anticipate this becoming an annual event like the Cornfield game out in Iowa. This is going to have to be every year.
Well, the game in Iowa, I don't know how much steam it's really lost, but the East-West All-Star game and the Juneteenth game, I think that's something that maybe we're going to tie into, but we're going to have these things where we're celebrating the Negro Leagues every year because there's so much history there that we can celebrate this every year for the next 40 years.
Yeah, I got to get down there. That place, again, looked incredible, and watching you interact was awesome. All right, let's hit Socially Speaking. This is where we answer a tweet or social media post, and you get a chance to win a $50 gift card from our newest sponsor, Lido Pizza, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. Love you, Lido Pizza. We're all over social media at Adam Jones Pod. Adam, during the broadcast from Rickwood, you mentioned Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson. He told some horrific, awful stories from experience there, and it resulted in a number of replies after you put out a tweet regarding it. Andy at Airtrain XPRS wrote about Mr. October. I can never understand how they could root for him for 3 hours, then hate him for the next 21 hours. Unfathomable to me how they were treated. God bless Reggie, Jackie, and the many other heroes who had to endure this. Here's the
thing about that. And just as the God honest truth, your parents were on the other side. They were rooting in one direction. Either they could have been rooting for, or they could have been booing and calling them other sets of names. So I always say this as people try to say, oh, they desensitize it from it. And I respect that. I respect people that have understood that history is bad and they don't want to repeat. I respect the hell out of that. I don't respect and understand people that know their family was this way and then try to say, I'm sorry. Like either be who you are and don't say nothing, or just be who you are. But like this happened. Reggie Jackson is not 128 years old. He's 80. He's in his 80s. He's in our lifetime. He's in so many people's lifetime. So many people still alive watched him play. This is 1967. My dad was 17 years old.
I was born that year.
My dad was picking cotton in Brownsville, Tennessee at that same time. So it's not like it's 18 1967, which I would have been like, well, damn, okay, understand more, a little bit more understandable. This is 1967. But again, it's the South. It's not the North. It's not the West. It's the South. I know that the South is not adapted as quickly to what's going on to policy as everyone else. I mean, I remember in 2013 or something like that, Mississippi just got the bill for like the actual freedom of slavery or something like that. Like they actually signed it. Like, bro, that you're talking about 1865. It's 2013. You're just signing a damn bill. Like, what the Sam hell is going on? So, as a person who's a West Coaster who is completely stripped of this, me and my brothers, we were talking about this. Like, we're stripped of this because we're West Coast. It's our ancestors. It's my dad and my mom and my grandmothers who I can talk to this about the pain and all that down there. We never had to suffer this. But I contacted, when I left there, I contacted all my dudes in the South, and I'm like, bruh, y'all grew up way different. And they all said, bruh, you have no idea the access, things that my parents and my grandparents and just what's trickled down through the system out there. And, you know, hopefully it changes. I don't have no skin in the game down in the South, but talking to cops, like, man, it's a different ball game down there, boss.
There's some slow-moving states down there, I will say that. And they've been slow-moving since the 60s or before that.
After. They have not changed.
I'm not disagreeing with that. with that.
I think it's changed because they've taken down the sign, but
and a certain flag too.
Yes. But I want to say this. I'm not going to totally disrespect the place because I went to Dreamland's barbecue. You know me, I always go get Dreamland barbecue. Chip, I'm gonna show you this picture, and it was unbelievable. But what happened was is that like the staff, they know that it's a famous place and it's been going on for a long time, and they've like people. There was like Joe Torre came in right before him. Barry Bonds, a lady was just like, Barry Bonds came in here. I'm so, and she was like, and he was like, Barry was like, yeah, keep it down. But he was so cordial, so nice. Everybody just wanted some barbecue, some ribs, and let's be honest with yourself. You know me. I want some barbecue. I want some. I want some good brisket. I want some mac and cheese, some coleslaw. But the hospitality there is fantastic. Again, we can speak on the climate, the cultural climate, and all that kind of stuff. But the hospitality which I was shown around the ballpark, around Dreamland, around different places was second to none.
That's awesome. Well, look forward to you going back again next year. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors who make this podcast possible. Please go out and support the following.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Weinman Company. Everyone knows Greenmount Station in Hampstead, but did you know that at Greenmount Station you can bet 7 days a week just like you're at the track? With in-person teller windows and state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks. And with Greenmount Station's brand new Bet Park Sportsbook, you can bet on all other sports as well, wherever you are in Maryland. Spreads, money lines, live bets, props, parlays, and teasers. The Bet Parks Maryland mobile app is now live for Apple and Android devices, so you'll never miss your next big score. Just search for Bet Parks MD in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. And for a limited time, 21 and over Adam Jones podcast listeners can get a $75 gift card to Greenmount Station simply for opening a new account with promo code GMS and a minimum $50 initial deposit. $75 gift card for new users in Maryland only. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Adam Jones podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan? Experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones podcast.
It might be an 11, maybe a 9. It could be 13's time. Or 5. With new Cash Pop from the Maryland Lottery, a winning number is drawn 4 times a day. Just pick a number from 1 to 15 for a chance to win cash, like the $2,500 top prize.
Woo! Cash Pop.
Cash Pop.
Pop, pop.
Put a little pop in your day.
If you received ERC funds, listen closely. The IRS has 10 years to audit your claim, but you only have until March 22nd to get taxpayer relief, and the clock is ticking. If you're losing sleep over a possible audit, we'll review your claim. If you made a filing error, we'll set things right. If you're being audited, we'll provide expert representation. The IRS Voluntary Disclosure Program ends March 22nd. You deserve peace of mind. Visit SaveMyERC.com to schedule a consultation today. That's SaveMyERC.com. Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. At Jack Daniels, they charcoal mellow every drop, only using water from Cave Spring Hollow in Tennessee. When you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks 2022. Jack Daniels, all rights reserved. The Adam Jones Podcast welcomes Relief Shop. Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu, located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
Hey Baltimore, Monument City Brewing has been crafting the best beer in Maryland since 2014. Located at 1 North Haven Street in Baltimore, you've seen us at the ballpark. Now drop by our tasting room. Open Thursday through Sunday with events, music, and great food trucks. And this year we are honored to collaborate with Adam Jones and the Adam Jones Podcast with Simply AJ Ballpark IPA, available throughout the baseball season. It's going to be a great year, Baltimore. Visit us online at monumentcitybrewing.com or follow us on Instagram at Monument City Brewing.
Hey, you work hard, I work hard, and we all like to save money. That's why we need the Royal Farms ROFO Rewards app to get more value for our hard-earned money. With the app, you earn royalty points on every purchase, can place mobile orders for quick pickup, plus a discount at the gas pump with ROFO Pay. We all like to save money, and with the ROFO Rewards app, we do.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Listeners, tell your friends. The Baltimore Police Department is hiring the next generation of officers. Starting salary is over $61,000. Plus, you'll receive an additional $10,000 signing bonus upon swearing in. Apply today to start your career in public safety. This is a great opportunity to serve the city you love and start a career that makes a difference in your community. Apply now at bpdrecruit.org. That's bpdrecruit.org. bpdrecruit.org. It's the perfect time to check out a spacious and reliable new Toyota SUV, like a RAV4, with available all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo space. You'll go from errands to adventures in no time. Plus, available features like wireless charging will keep you connected. Or check out a Highlander with seating for up to 8. It's a hub for family adventure. Your Toyota dealer is getting new vehicles in stock regularly, so don't wait. Find deals on a RAV4 or Highlander at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. The Bay Sox are in town June 18th to the 23rd, and fireworks follow Friday and Saturday night games. It's Educator Appreciation Week, so school employees can get 2 free tickets by showing their school ID Tuesday through Friday. Sunday is one of our big bobbleheads of the season, the Adley Rutschman Grayson Rodriguez dual bobble, featuring both players walking off the field together after another 1-2-3 frame. Get tickets at baysox.com.
Thanks to senior executive producer Chip Franklin for putting this latest episode together. Hard to believe Chip is old enough to be Gunner's great-grandfather. He's come a long way in a short amount of time. Hey, go out and subscribe to the Baltimore Banner and be back next week for another episode. Be real, be kind, and be back for the Adam Jones Podcast. See ya.